Hey everyone, welcome to another Anime Kingdom review. See by the title below, yes, this is on episode 1 of Steins Gate 0, and yes, I know I'm sorry that this is late. It's just I've had to deal with a bunch of final projects since it is getting closer to the end of the semester, and I just had not had the time to go ahead and watch this episode till finally I did find some time and was able to watch this new episode and give you guys this, this review and everything, because trust me, I've been wanting to watch this episode for a while. I love Steins Gate. When I found out that Steins Gate 0 was going to come out, I was just super hyped up and excited to see how this story would be, because this is like a spin-off kind of story. I think this is supposed to be placed when Okabe when he tries to save Kirisu but ends up failing. I think this is around episode 23, I think, somewhere like 22 or 23, and he ends up failing, thus he ends up pretty much just giving up on everything he believed in before and just tries to live a normal life, and that is what we see in this episode. This is pretty much him failing and probably going into the worst possible timeline, as you could see at the very beginning of the episode, them giving us a peek at what World War III pretty much worked, how it happens, and Mayuri is also there, of course, and also pretty much regretting something that she had, done before in the past, wishing she would have done, reached out towards him. And this is kind of like what the main story is going to be. After that fact, when he ends up failing, he tries to live a normal life, and you can see that this is like, it started in summer, obviously it's the original Steins Gate, and this is now, we're already into like the Christmas time during holiday season, so it's been quite a while already. You see that things have changed, yet things have also not changed. It's definitely a good nostalgia trip for everyone who has enjoyed Steins Gate before. For those of you who are wondering, can you watch Steins Gate 0 without watching the original Steins Gate? I would say no, honestly. This is one of those anime that you need to be able to know the characters, you need to have this connection to the characters, know the story and everything. And like I said, this is like in between, like the events that happen after like 22 or 23, and you need to see those to kind of understand what's going on, the whole premise of everything in this, this series. So yeah, if you haven't watched Steins Gate, the original Steins Gate, you gotta go watch that now before you watch Steins Gate 0. But yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. It did a good job at giving a nostalgia trip at kind of like, even if you didn't, rewatch the anime before this, because I honestly, I didn't. I've been meaning to watch the original Steins Gate for a while to get, in preparation for this, but I ended up not doing it. But this episode does a good job, honestly, at kind of just giving you that nostalgia trip, giving you a kind of reintroduction to all the characters. We get to see characters that we've seen before, with like obviously Okabe. He's probably the only one that's different, I would say, because of the whole events of what has happened with his PTSD, pretty much because him not being able to save Kirisu. But everyone else, Mayuri, seeing Daru, seeing Suzuha, seeing Ruka and Ferris as well. Those were just huge nostalgia trips that just got me like, I was like, oh my gosh, finally back into the world of Steins Gate, and I definitely enjoyed it. It was awesome to see all of them together again, all of them acting, pretty much the same. Like I said, Okabe is still different, and you see a lot of the things that happen, like him in the talk when he has this talk with Suzuha, and the whole how much not being able to save Kirisu has definitely affected him, because it's affected him a lot. You see moments when, like that one moment when he was walking down the alley and he's like almost throws up because he just sees like him killing multiple timelines that he's tried to save her over and over and over again, and has failed over and over again. So you can see why he doesn't want to try anymore, even though Suzuha knows what's going to happen in the future. She wants him to change it, but obviously he can't do it because of what has happened before, and that's why we're like all the way in Christmas already, because this is pretty much him trying to live a normal life. You see he's just like regular college student. He's no longer wearing his lab outfit and everything, so it's like a kind of different Okabe, like completely, of course, with the memories of what has happened before obviously as well. And then of course, besides making it so that we have all the people who've watched Steins Gate before have that amazing nostalgia trip, honestly, which was great, they also did a great job at having the first episode not only have that kind of feeling, because a lot of animes, when they come back, they kind of get stuck into really trying to add into that nostalgia kind of thing and not really add anything new for the first kind of episode, because it's trying to bring you in and everything. But they did a really good job in Steins Gate 0 with the first episode, giving you the nostalgia trip, having the events of the very beginning actually, bringing you into what's the outcome if everything cannot be changed. And then of course also being able to add in new things and new characters in the new storyline that is going to be happening with Steins Gate Zero. For example, we got some new characters, which honestly it was pretty awesome. We got to see Daru's wife, because we never got to see that in the original Steins Gate. I always wondered who was Suzuha's, who was her mother, I mean, and we finally get to see her. She's a cosplayer. Her name's Yuki, and all I gotta say is, damn, Daru, you do good, honestly. Even though, of course, the world ends up going to World War III in this timeline in the future, and she ends up dying, I mean, nonetheless, he does pretty well. And if they're able to save the timeline and him still being able to get together with Yuki, I gotta say, Daru's definitely won out, to which a lot of people probably wouldn't believe, honestly. But yeah, other than her, we also got the legal lolly that we got to see. She ends up being a translator for one of the scientist guys that came in, and it was pretty funny. That scene was pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie, because everyone's pretty much assuming she's like a girl, like a little girl. Okabe's like, at first it's like, I didn't know that they had middle schoolers there. And then she's like, I'm not a middle schooler, I'm not a kindergartner, I'm not a preschooler. I'm just like, oh shit, yeah, that probably sucks, because a lot of people probably say, probably assume that she's just a little kid. And like, even when she showed him the ID, he was like, oh, you're giving this because someone lost it, even though it was actually hers. I was like, oh man, okay. But then of course the whole legal lolly thing came up, and I was just cracking up, because I was like, yeah, any of you who like, who love their lollies, right here is a legal lolly. But yeah, of course, the rest of the episode was pretty much just the craziness that is what's going to be coming with, of course, Okabe trying to live a normal life, and then the very ending sucking him back in with what turns out to be Kurisu's, like, the way I was wondering how they were going to incorporate her back into this, since, obviously she's supposed to be dead because this is the failed timeline. And they end up using her research work and pretty much making this new kind of thing, this artificial intelligence. And I'm assuming that it's going to be recreating her, maybe that's her, because it's pretty much making it so human thought into data. So I would assume that it's probably going to be her, and obviously Okabe is going to have these just kind of everything flooding back in, as you saw at the very ending with the huge close-up, that things are going to get pretty crazy. And I am honestly just so damn excited to see the next couple episodes, because like I said, I've been waiting for Steins Gate to finally, Steins Gate Zero to finally come out. And now that we've finally seen the first episode, giving us that nostalgia trip, giving us that, giving us some new characters, showing us the new story, showing us like the grim, outcome if they cannot change everything as well, it's definitely got me so interested. It's still these kind of things, honestly. A lot of times when I'm watching anime or watching anything, reading a story or watching TV, watching a movie, when it has to deal with time travel and stuff, it's always such a massive headache. But the one thing that there is that can be is that there's like unlimited possibilities of certain outcomes of different stories and everything. And that's why normally when you have a anime like Steins Gate, in my opinion, it ended amazingly. I would never want a sequel, because I thought it ended really damn well. But with this, with time travel and all this kind of stuff and different world lines, you're able to have these different stories without impacting what was the original story of the original series, which is why I am just so damn excited that we are finally back into the world of Steins Gate with an entire new story. I just cannot wait to see how the rest of the series is gonna go, because we know it's gonna get crazy, it's gonna get awesome, it's just gonna blow up and just make us just like, what the hell kind of moments, because that's just how the original Steins Gate gave me those kind of feelings. And honestly, I cannot wait to see how this Steins Gate does as well. But yeah, it's all I really gotta say. Other than that, there's also the whole, I love the soundtrack. The soundtrack was awesome. This episode was done so perfectly to bring everyone back into the world of Steins Gate with just the original voice actors. The soundtrack was awesome, the art and animation style and everything, and just the overall story and plot of Steins Gate just really, really pulls you in. And just I cannot wait to see the next episode. They did a really good job with this first episode and bringing us all back into this world. But yeah, other than that, there was also The ending song as well. Come on, you got I love the way they went into that ending song. The song matched perfectly, and I just love the song. I don't know. I've been listening to it for quite a while, over and over again on repeat, because it's just pretty damn awesome. And oh man, I honestly I can't get the smile off my face, because that's how excited I am to see the rest of this series. But yeah, that's all I gotta say, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this Anime Kingdom review. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. If there's anything I missed and you want to talk about, comment below as well. And if you did enjoy, don't forget to like. If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe for more content. As always, guys, I want to hear your guys' thoughts. How do you feel about this episode? Anime watchers only. What do you think about everything that's happened? Are you excited like I am, or did you have a great nostalgia trip like I did? Feel free to comment below. And visual novel readers, how did you feel about this episode? I always want to hear how, you know, the adaptation was. You know, has it been a good adaptation so far for this first episode? You know, if you want to put what you're excited for with expectations and everything, feel free to comment below. And as always, if you want to put a spoiler, then do the whole skip 4 lines, make it so the person has to click read more to see the spoilers. So if they click it, that's their choice, but please do not ruin it for everyone else, and myself included, because I don't want to be spoiled. I want to just stay completely, you know, surprised by whatever's going to happen, because that's one of the things that I always do enjoy with Steins Gate, because it always does something that just completely surprises me and just completely blows my mind, and I don't want to be spoiled by any of that. So yeah, if you want to put a spoiler, please do that. And that's all I gotta say, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Until next time, see ya.